So the movie that I was saying that talks about the children being exploited and being used underground is called Amber City, I believe, and how it's connected to Pizzagate that they have now rolled back in. How Trump told people stop talking about the Epstein, and I would have had more respect for him if he really like stood for the people in Epstein and brought truth to it and made sure that the list came out. And I was talking to somebody in my Uber driver, and he brought things to my attention about this, and he was saying how of course he's going to keep it hidden because he was on the plane. And I thought that was just like Epstein's plane, like just like to go places, but he was saying how he used the Epstein plane a lot of times to where even some of his people on his team had to go commercial because he was on that plane and they had no room for them, or they weren't authorized to be on the plane, and he was taking the plane to the island. And so I knew that they were friends, but I didn't know that like he was going to the island. And then he also told me that his daughter Ivanka was with Giselle Maxwell, who was going to different Catholic church and different other places where there were little girls or other girls, and were picking them up and teaching them how to have sex and recruiting them for Epstein. And so I'm like, okay, that's why he doesn't want it to come out. He's threatened a lot of people to deport people and do this and take legal action, and like saying it doesn't exist, doing all these things to hide it. And he would have had more integrity, I feel like, more power from his supporters and from me if he really stood his ground on this and brought justice to the people in there. Then he wanted to tell me about the other people who have called out Donald Trump for SAing certain women, and they have won their cases or they have settled and been silenced. And so he was saying that there's truth to that as well. And every time and it's crazy because this is something I did not know. He said that whenever the Epstein and everything happened and all those cases, all the Republicans actually voted against that coming to light, and the Democrats voted for it. I'm like, what? Because I know many Democrats who are involved in the deep state, who is involved with the trafficking, who do things like this, Biden and Obama, two of them who are. And then I just seen something that said that, sorry, I'm not finishing my sentences because it's all connected, and I'm just like, thoughts is coming in my mind that Obama will be arrested for his Obamagate and his connection with treason and giving out certain U.S. files to other countries and things like that. And then Biden, I don't know what Biden's been doing. I don't know if he's in retirement, but I did see something that said his son is teaching how to make crack, which confirms that he was on crack the whole time and had the laptop of the deep files and things that were secret to the United States that were not supposed to be released and stuff. But I mean, of course, he never got persecuted because his dad pardoned him. So that's just a whole nother thing. But I felt like with the sniffing of kids, with the Pizzagate, with the Obamagate, that the Democrats were actually involved in all the trafficking and things. But they said that most of the Democrats voted that the stuff be released and things, and the Republicans were actually that have gone against it. And they said every time they didn't want to get Donald Trump and the Republicans in office because every time they come in office, the tariffs increase. And so that was something I didn't know. I didn't know all of that. And now I'm just like, dang, I didn't like persuade people to vote for Donald Trump, but I thought how it would be better for the economy because we're in a business and we're a business and we're a business and he's a businessman, and how the things that he was doing when he was in office, things were coming to light and being exposed, and how the different laws that he had put in place right now, how they would be able to help us and, get us to gain back power and control over us as a country. But now I just don't even know, because him telling the people to just forget about Epstein like none of that ever happened, it's like, dang, now the children are being silenced even more and justice is not being had, and they're saying that he's not dead. People saying that he's on an island somewhere. People saying that it wasn't a murder, he just suicided himself. Like, okay, so why did he do that? We're not looking into anything that happened. And so even if they said there's not a Epstein list, so nobody was on that island? Like, nobody's involved. Like, even if there's not a set list, there's still people that were involved, that these girls that were trained and sexualized and abused and prostituted for. And if you're in the circle of celebrities and high officials, then they have to have had some connection. And it just sucks that they said that some of the girls were going thinking that they were going to get a massage, but turns out they were getting hired to do prostitution. And the Uber driver brought that to my attention because I'm a massage therapist, and he just connected the two. And there's even a show called The Client List, which they are massagers or masseuses, but they also do a little prostitution on the side. And there's like a little black book with names of like officials that I used to watch. And so, I mean, they put it right in front of our face. And other things that's been going on in the media, like I said, they've been doing rituals back to back to back. And the one with the Coldplay, the Coldplay concert where the CEO of Astronomer, if I'm looking to the side, I'm not lying, I'm literally like looking at my notes. And the Astronomer, he got caught cheating with his HR lady, and he's married, and it was at a Coldplay concert. And I noticed that it was on a camera, like a circle camera. When I seen it, it made me think, I'm like, oh, this is just crazy. I didn't think nothing of it. But when it became viral, like I said, you got to pay attention to everything that goes viral, because it will show you exactly the rituals that's being put in our place. The girl he cheated with name is Kristen. There goes that Christ with the K. So it's even more rituals being done. And then his wife, his name was Annie Byron. I broke down his name. I don't know any significance with it outside of Andrew that's in the Bible. Like anybody who goes viral on social media, they have, or people who are being killed or people who are being sacrificed, they have names connected to Bible names. That's how they do it in Gematria. And this was even on The Simpsons as well. So they were successful in July 4th with restarting the timeline and getting it to be on back in their Freemason rituals. And so Andy Byron, and then his wife name is actually Megan, and her last name is Currington. The K-E-R. The K-E-R was the same county of the flooding in Guadalupe River at Camp Mystic. And then her name being Megan and the Kerr being for the Messiah, and as well as the girl's name Kristen, both Messiah's names, either talks about Mary Magdalene, and because Megan is another name for Mary Magdalene and Messiah Christ connected, as well as going their separate ways. Something like infidelity is being attacked right now. Kingdom spouses are being attacked right now. They are trying to get people to break up due to infidelity. And especially if you're a man of God and you're like a Christ-like figure and your wife is like a Mary Magdalene type figure. This could be spiritually. There is a divorce going on in the spirit realm, as well as there could be problems in the marriage and the physical. And then with other people's families, they want the spirit of lust, the devil, to come between with a Jezebel and break up divine unions. And they even do this with, even if they're having a child, if they have a child and there's baby mama drama, like with the basketball players, with the singers, Ashanti and Nelly, Kylie or Haley and DDG, Nikki Baby and LaMelo, or I don't know his name, but they trying to break a home. They want, if the children are involved, that means the children are not being brought up in the way which they should go. They don't honor father and mother. They're not in a divine union. There's not the Most High Christ, and then the family, the husband, the wife, the children. It's just a broken home, broken family, generational curses just flooding everywhere. And so he was caught, and it shows that everything is being recorded on camera. That is signifying in the spiritual realm, everything being recorded on camera. And you're being recorded by angels, and you're being recorded in the physical, and they show the infidelity or slip up with that. And then they want Megan to go and break up with Andy and do her own thing, not having a divine masculine, a divine counterpart, or one of empower, because he was a CEO, and just to be a single mom. They want that single mom era. They're trying to do single mom era, feminism era, LGBT era, confusing the minds, confusing the gender, confusing people, confusing the children, and trafficking, as well as get us back into Jim Crow eras with the Make America Great Again, with the different laws that are being put in place, as well as the reason why a lot of people are dying who were in that era, who were in that time, and who was connected, like with the name Malcolm and Ozzy Osbourne and other civil rights leaders and different things like that, bringing up whatever they had going on back into this reality because they want to recycle that time. I even seen something today where it said that in Springfield, Missouri, they're going to have this whole city dedicated to only whites. So they're only going to be whites living there. So they want to go back to segregation. They wanted to completely separate and keep us divided, as well as a lot of places that flooded were sundown towns, which, if you know sundown towns, you can't be black in those towns after sundown, because then it's like free to kill you, hang you, and just like do whatever they want to do with you, because it's like this is their land, when this is their city, when this is our ancestors' land. Like, come on, we blood, sweat, and tear on this land to make you have whatever you want. But you know, that's just how they do reverse psychology. This is how they do the loving your attackers, loving your masters, Stockholm syndrome. And there's even a Megan movie coming out, so they're really pushing this Megan more than ever. Like I said, Mary Magdalene going AI, going independent, going being robotic, so like being controlled, you know. But because she's been controlled for so long to fit a divine feminine era and answering and bowing down to certain men and people in government, then she lashes out and just goes on a killing spree and loses her mind, so basically. And so a lot of the different CIA experiments, gematria, they're all in control, and they are trying to just murder, kill, ritual, blood sacrifice. So even with Malcolm dying, a lot of his friends are coming out. One lady, her name was actually Karen, which is another name for that they try to say Messiah. A Karen is someone who's always reporting. So they think like if you're a woman of God, you're always speaking on truth, exposing stuff. You're always going to God in prayer and saying things. You're being a snitch, and you're reporting. You're being a Karen. And the Karen, the Kra for the Kara's, you know, superwoman and stuff like that. And so she came out and she said that her experience with Malcolm, she's going to miss him, how it was a karmic relationship. Karmic is never good, and that's that KRM as well. And karma, which is karma, like Christ and the mother goddess and connection and everything like that. And so they're doing these rituals plain in sight, and so these people, they might even not even know they're connected, but because we're so used to doing these, people are born in these different societies. They're born in these fraternities and sororities, these rituals, these organizations. They have these names. They are been influenced all their life by certain outside entities and spirits that they just follow through with the ritual like nothing happens. It's not until you wake up and you take control of your life that you're no longer going to be a puppet. And then there was an Indian pilot who killed 260 people because his mother died. And so, like I already was telling you, like the attack on the mother and mother goddess and all the things like that. And so that was the connection with that. And as well as like pilot talks about plane, talks about Exodus, talks about flying out of here. And so, you know, they try to do a lot of things to watch certain people, and a whole lot of gang stalking, bringing in cars and people, planes that you just heard that we don't even, you know, and they're just sitting there watching you, and they're doing energetic surveillance and stuff. And then there was Dina Muhammad. She was the woman who was at McDonald's, who, because she was oppressed at her job or being bullied at her job, she went up there and she stabbed her manager. And so a lot of the chosen ones have been attacked on jobs. They're using the jobs to spiritually attack us. And I have spoke about the different spiritual attacks that I've received on jobs. So they want to make us look crazy, and they want to mask mental illness in connection with spirituality, because she was talking about the universe. She had her crystals, and she was a musician. So they want to tie that all in, like equal that in, like, okay, if you're spiritually inclined or you're spiritually involved, you're on the borderline to mental illness. As well as, her name was Adini Muhammad. That was her name that she changed her name to. That was not her original name. So that's why I said they always connected the Islam and the Muhammad, because of God and Yahweh, or Allah and Yahweh being the same deity, different names. And so, or Allah being the name for the God in Arabic, and Yahweh being the name for the God, or Yahuwah being the name for the God in Hebrew. But Yahuwah Elohim, the Allah and Elohim, is signifying that they're both on the same team. So they do the rituals into that. And then McDonald's being the golden arches, and the M standing for masonry. And they've been trying to have us eat human bodies in the McDonald's. I got hooked on McDonald's when I came back from being worldly, y'all. And oh my God, because they would have like this 5 deal, and it would be like 5 different things from the menu that you get for $5. And I'm like, that's super convenient. Like, that is super nice. Like, I can just get that and, you know, be cool. And I actually got hooked on that type of stuff. And I'm like, why would I do that when I know this is food sacrificed to idols? I think I even made a video of McDonald's. So I was being a hypocrite in my own right. And I was like, I repent. I've been trying my best not to eat it. It's been a couple of months, because I was like, they have the sigils, they do the different rituals to get people to keep coming back and eating this stuff. And then I kept seeing them in my dreams again and again. And I'm like, oh damn, they really want me to eat it. And then last time I had it, I said no, because the fries was different. They know, like, when you eat at a certain spot, they know your cycle, they know your routine. And so now they can change the food and poison the food and do different experiments on you with the food and see how you react and stuff like that. So I stopped eating it, and knowing what I know, I had to hold myself at a higher standard. So I stopped eating it as well. But it was all showing me that the ritual that they've been doing in the background with this girl, she was MK Ultra mind control. She was under a lot of other different butterfly, other different operations, CIA operations, and they wanted her to stab the person instead of, like, who stabs somebody now, like, with a big machete? Like, a lot of people are using guns and stuff like that, but she had a knife, which signifies the sword and the spirit, and she cut her manager, or manager is like somebody of power or of high goals and stuff like that. And so the McDonald's, like, promoting cannibalism in a way, and then her crashing out, because it's like crash out culture that's going on right now, her name being changed to a Muslim name, and she being spiritual, and she's 26 and I'm 26. And then the orange hair connecting with, when I said when they have the orange hair and the red hair, it signified the Holy Spirit within them. Ronald McDonald had the orange hair. They try to make it seem like the clown, like you're the clown and stuff like that. Even Pennywise, which is a mocking of the Antichrist. And so that red hair is supposed to signify power, it's supposed to signify Holy Spirit, but they use that against us in these rituals with the wigs and with the names, with the sites and the situation that be going on. And just like I said, anybody in with the names in the Bible connected to their rituals and being dead. Matthew Perry from Friends, his doctor actually pleaded guilty now to his death, and there is a book of Matthew in the Bible. And there is some connection with bear, and with the bears, there also was like the bears in the Bible. And lightning struck Arizona, and that means like judgment coming down to Arizona, because I remember saying Arizona, beautiful place. I loved it that I was there like for as many months as I was, and I would go every year, and it would be vacation. But I actually lived there the longest this time, 6 months, and I seen the racism, I seen the prejudice, I seen how they operate and everything like that. So judgment has been on Arizona, and lightning struck a tree there, and over 20,000 sage plants was burning, and so it's being cleansed there. And I even left some of my like spiritual things in the mountains there, and so spirit did confirm that it's like a timeline, it's like a portals there, and even portals are opening all over us. And there's going to be a portal on A8, which is the Lion's Gate, which is connected to the pyramids of Giza, which connects it to the Sirius star system, and it connects to certain chosen people. It connects to God as well, the lion of the tribe of Judah, and segment and stuff like that. And so those portals, you can time travel, or you can time loop jump from certain places. So my spiritual things that were left in that mountains over there are now in the canyons. And then seeing that the sage burned in the canyons, that was just like powerful, I believe. And that was just like, it was a beautiful closing to what was going on. But even like it showed like the fire that's going on, like water and fire right now, water and fire magic being done. And sometimes it's being used, the Most High is using it for good, sometimes for judgment, sometimes to cleanse. And even Pakistan was flooded with, like, they talk about the different parts in the United States that is flooded. Pakistan, the whole city was like flooded as well. And so that's everything that's been going on. I hope that I was able to cover everything and just really get down to it. I had to come on here. I was trying to wait till everything was paid off. Wait till I've been solid within my jobs and stuff. And oh my God, why in the world a man is across the street with a dog and the dog reverse is God? I'm putting light to the darkness and balance to the light. I pray that you and yours is directed and protected. Shalom and peace.